If you have been anxious lately, or maybe you're anxious right now, take 2 deep breaths with me. One more. All right, let's go. The biggest mistake that I made and most people make when it comes to anxiety is we fear anxiety and we want it to go away. When we try to avoid the feeling of anxiety, we are teaching our brains that anxiety itself is bad and is something to fear. And this can be a vicious cycle. We become anxious, we get scared of our own anxiety, which makes our brain on extra high alert, which means we are more easily triggered by thoughts and situations, and the cycle continues. So what can we do about it? We need to become friends with anxiety instead of pushing it away and doing everything we can to avoid the feelings in the first place. A lot of us, when we feel anxious, what do? We watch a show on Netflix, we go on our phone, listen to an anxiety video on YouTube, whatever. And while these may seem like good options at the time, it does not help you beat anxiety long term because you are still avoiding that fear itself. So our attitude should pretty much be like, I wonder what will bring anxiety to my brain and body today. Come on, bring it. Let's see it. Let anxiety live in your head as long as it wants, because when you don't fight back, that is to say, continually fuel the anxiety, you're beginning to change that response to it. The fastest way to get this change in response is through the practice called exposure response prevention. And there are 2 main methods of using exposure response prevention. The first is situational. Say, for example, you're really afraid of getting in the swimming pool and you can't get in within 5 feet of a pool without becoming very anxious. The technique would be to first stand 5 feet away from the pool. Once the initial wave of fear starts to go down just a little bit, get a little bit closer to spike that fear back up. Then another foot closer. And over time, whether this process takes a couple minutes or it needs to be broken up over the course of days or weeks, you eventually work your way into the pool. We are teaching the mind and body that it is okay for whatever situation that you fear. But what if the situation is imaginary? It's not real. It comes from where? The mind. The next method of ERP is for a response change to our fearful thoughts. And remember, the anxious thoughts are not the problem. It's what? It's our response to them. Don't try to push them away because what you resist persists. Maybe you're afraid of getting deathly ill because you coughed a couple times today and you have the thought that maybe you're going to die. When that thought comes up, say to yourself, maybe I will die, maybe I won't. I don't know. I guess I'll have to wait and see. We don't know how the future will play out, and nobody knows. Becoming more accepting of the unknown is a practice. This is definitely not easy for anyone, at least not at first. But it gets easier the more we do it, like anything else. And when you start to practice this, don't try to push the feelings of fear away at all. Simply notice them and do your best to not react to them with your old tendencies. And the more you practice exposing yourself to the things you fear and having a new response, the more confidence you build around exposing yourself to things you fear. And you start to believe that, hey, anxiety can come if it wants. I know what to do. I know it's just an emotion. And when you reach this stage, anxiety no longer has a grip on you. That doesn't mean you won't ever feel fear. Fear is completely normal, but you won't be in its grips. You have created a spaciousness between you, the witness of thoughts and the feelings themselves. Thank you for watching.